POV of a 30-year-old making $187,000 a month working in pharma sales. I really want to focus in on 3 questions. The first one, why you should consider a role in pharmaceutical sales, what a pharmaceutical sales rep does, how hard is it to be a pharmaceutical sales rep. Pharmaceutical sales gives you AMP, which stands for autonomy, mastery, and purpose. If you're wondering why I'm calling this place a hostel, here is the evidence. This is dead set sandpaper. Horrific. Gonna need some Anusol. So here's that quick tour of the accommodation that I promised. Not the nicest day in Byron. But definitely the first time I've stayed at a beach shack. Morning guys, so got up early, thought I'd try something different today and go for a run. Admittedly, running is not the most exciting activity for me, and look what we've arrived at. It's looking pretty miserable out there. Now, if I was at home, I would probably brave the weather, but since I've got to fly back home, I'm not super keen to have soggy shoes, socks, wet gear in my duffel bag because I know it's going to stink. So I guess sometimes life tells you it's time to run a rest day, and I'm going to go find a nice breakfast spot then, get some work done. So guys, just on the cool down walk, as you probably saw at breakfast, there was a brief pause in the rain, so I thought I'd quickly get out and get a run in. And look, was it ideal? Didn't have my sunglasses, didn't have sunscreen, on a full stomach, but like I said, learning the agility and the resilience from being in sales helps you apply it to other aspects in life. And did I feel like shit doing the run? Yeah, for sure. You know, bloody running through people smoking weed so early in the morning, having my routine broken, wasn't nice, but do I feel good now that I've got it out of the way? And yeah, for sure, you know, the oxygen's going to be pumping through my blood. I've got a 45-minute drive now to Lismore, but with that oxygen going through my blood, I think it's going to help me think faster on my feet and be in a better mood with the runner's high. So my point is, life's never going to be super smooth, and work for that matter, but you need to be agile and flexible and just make it work to your schedule. Speaking of, I better get back and get changed ready for work. So guys, one thing you may have noticed is I haven't had my morning hit of caffeine, which is also why I was feeling particularly uncomfortable on the run. But I'm not sure if you guys are the same as me. As soon as I have caffeine, I need to go straight away. In any case, yeah, the early morning start is catching up to me. It's a jumbo-sized coffee for me. I've come to check out this cafe my colleague in Queensland has recommended to me. It's called Butcher Baker in Bangalore. Well, the weather in Byron is cray-cray. It has started raining again, which is why, earlier this morning, I didn't get amazing content for you guys on the run. But let me know, would you be keen to see more of my training? In any case, coming back to why pharmaceutical sales, I think what sales will teach you is, if you see an opportunity, grab it with both hands, because just like in life, there may be opportunities that come your way, and if you sit on your hands and let them pass you by, you're going to miss them. And speaking of, looking at my movement rings, which I do aim to try close every day, I'm 40% of what I need for the day coming on 12 o'clock. And had I not done that run, there is no chance in the world that I'm closing my rings today. Which brings me to another aspect of sales, and that's if you like numbers, if you're an athlete, where for me, when I see my numbers at the gym getting better and better, I'm lifting heavier weights, I'm running faster times, and you find that very rewarding, sales is the place for you. Oh my goodness, this is excellent coffee. And so that's my point. If you like accountability, you are going to really enjoy sales. In particular, there is a famous saying, whether it's sales or investing, what gets measured gets managed. And so putting these tracking metrics on there and seeing the change and the impact that you're having, if you enjoy that tangible result, sales is the role for you. Now, we got caffeine in the blood, we've got oxygen in the legs flowing, time to make our way to Lismore. Let's get going.
So then you start to doubt yourself. Silence.
Check out this sick garage setup. Weather's no better here in Lismore, sadly. So a very cool vibe. So I'm at Taco Love Bros in Lismore. Apparently it is one of the classic institutions here. Doctors have told me their tacos are 10 out of 10, and looking at them, they do look amazing. I'm absolutely starved. So I'm gonna tuck in and yeah, again, how hard is it to be a pharma rep and eat tacos? Not very, but I am going to have to carry some of these over to the doctors and make sure they're well fed. So maybe that's the hard part, but I'm going to have plenty of energy to keep me going. My only criticism is it could be a little spicier. Maybe I need to find some habanero sauce. So just finished up my lunch appointment and we're driving back to Ballina Airport, ready to fly home. I've talked a lot about why you should consider a role in pharmaceutical sales, and hopefully you've seen what pharmaceutical sales reps do and how hard it can be. Obviously, it's very difficult for me to take you into a sales call with a doctor, but now that I've just finished my lunch presentation, I did think about giving you an insight into what pharmaceutical sales has taught me and the invaluable life lessons it's given me. Many of you may find it surprising to know that I'm actually naturally introverted, and presenting to 4 or 5 doctors for the first time, even after 7 years of doing this, I still get a little bit of anxiety in me, but getting the reps in, getting my confidence up, it's made me a much more confident person, and being able to articulate and build relationships with people, not just from a work perspective, but in life in general, is a really key skill to have. And that's what pharma sales has taught me. It's also given me a lot of confidence to face rejection and put myself outside of my comfort zone, you know, go out and have meals on my own, not be afraid of being told no, or being very confident when I ask for a table at a restaurant or ask for a refund. So I truly believe the sales role sets you up for success, not just in your career, but also in your life. And in terms of how hard it is, look, it's not the easiest, but at the same time, it comes down to mindset. And the more you practice, the more exposure you get, the easier it's obviously going to become, just like any new skill that you learn. And while some people may think, oh my God, I couldn't think of anything worse than not being able to come home to my kids, my family, my friends. But at the same time, you can flip that psychology and say, how cool is this? I get to go experience towns and cities that I would never go to. And broadening your perspective is only going to make you a more rounded and wise person. So again, how hard is pharmaceutical sales is very, very subjective. But I would argue any hardship is well worth it because of all the reasons we spoke about earlier. Okay, so we made it to Byron Airport just in the nick of time. It is disastrous out there. But before I show you guys the insane weather outside, let's get to some real talk. I've actually spent $5,000 on investing in editing for this channel to make sure we get you some great content. My original goal was to hit 2,000 subscribers after spending this $5,000. We're currently closing in on 500, which is a quarter of the way there, and that's roughly the same as my emotional stability right now. So if you've ever laughed, learned, or not fallen asleep during one of our videos, please subscribe to the channel, and even better, drop a comment below. Let me know, what content would you like to see more of? Is it these sorts of vlogs? Is it interviews with industry leaders? Let me know, because this channel is for you. And honestly, your support means the world to me, and it gives me the motivation to keep the channel alive. Now back to the content. Before we walk out into this insane storm, I wanted to give you the real insight into the job, because I don't want this vlog to give you the impression pharma sales is super easy. You just pick up someone's lunch, you rock up, you have a chat to them, and you leave. There is so much work that goes on behind the scenes that you cannot see. So for example, before coming here, I aligned all my appointments. I deliberately researched where to get food from. I know exactly what the health stats are for Lismore and the Northern Rivers region, and I read extensively into each of the doctors, what research they're publishing, what tumour streams they're interested in, and what clinical papers have they published. So there is a lot that goes on in the background, and then on top of that, I've rehearsed, I've practiced, I've gotten my words right, I've perfected my presentation, and that takes hours and hours of behind the scenes work. And look, yes, I've gotten to the airport now, fatigued, a little bit tired, probably going to fall asleep on the plane, but for me, this is just part of the job. I find it really rewarding, and putting my energy into something that is very meaningful, at least in my mind. And so, yes, there is a bit of hard work to it, but for me, it's all worth it. And that's a question you're only going to know if you give this role a try. One of the other hard things is work-life balance. I know it's very topical right now, and yes, is this role going to eat into potentially some of your personal time? Yeah, I'm flying home now. I'm not going to arrive until 6:30 to go straight from the airport to my Oztag game, which hopefully this Jetstar flight isn't late. And is that annoying sometimes? Yes, but on other days, will I have an earlier finish? Yeah, so does it balance out? Yes. This is just part and parcel of being in a field-based role. So we've landed back in Sydney. It's coming on 7 p.m. Now I've got to rush to my sports game, and that means I'm going to probably end up having dinner at 9:30, but that's just a personal gripe. I think many others would find it very manageable. I think for me, what I found the hardest about this particular trip is having to bring all my sports gear up to Byron. It's literally doubled the weight of my luggage, and had I been from the comfort of home, it would have been much easier to get to sports, but now I've got to quickly get changed into my gear, ready to play. But let me know in the comments below, are there any things that I haven't covered off? What else do you want to know about pharmaceutical sales? And if you play team sport, let me know what you play in the comments below. 10 p.m. We've made it back home. Unfortunately, not the result we wanted from our game tonight. We did lose. And checking my rings, we're only at 94%. So fell short there as well. But one of the crucial lessons that I picked up in sport, and sales has helped me refine it, is just continuing to turn up unfazed by the lag metric and continuing to chip away. And yes, landing in at Sydney Airport at 7 p.m. technically is a very late finish. But I'm sure you guys have seen people at the office finish at 7 p.m, 7:30 p.m. And again, being really good at sales, being good at life is about being flexible, being agile. And whilst it's a late finish for me tonight, I've still got the dirt on my jersey, haven't showered, need to unpack my bags. But tomorrow I'll finish up early. And that's just the swings and roundabouts of being a flexible person, and one of the perks of working in pharmaceutical sales. It is a flexible role. There will be days where you're going to finish late, you're going to have to dig deep, but there will be other days where you can make that time back. And so I really want to summarize this piece around how hard is pharmaceutical sales. I think it really comes down to mindset. There are definitely, every job is hard, but it's how you frame it. I'll give you an example. My dad, he thinks doing a trade, a laboring job is extremely hard and he wouldn't survive. And my friends who are tradies would look at a 9-to-5 corporate job sitting at a computer as the most punishing job you could ever wish for, because they think it's so stale and they love being outside and moving their bodies. So the question I would urge you to ask yourself is, pick your heart. And if you don't know where to start, watch the video that I've recorded on the career and life advice you need to have. There'll be a link in the description, and I'll see you there.